Hey everyone, welcome back to the Half Soybean channel. My name is Sharon and today we are making a crop top with a bit of ruching detailing. I'm not exactly sure what this is called, but I've been seeing it so much whenever I walk through the stores. It's always on display, so I thought it would be really fun to try and make this today. Thank you so much to Karma for sponsoring today's video, a free app and Chrome extension that helps you never miss a price drop or a coupon code, which I'll tell you more about later. But for now, let's get started with the tutorial. There are a couple of things you'll be needing today. First of all, I have some non-stretch fabric. This is just like a cotton, and then I've got some elastic for the straps, and this is a 4 centimeter thick strap. And then I've also got this, which are some, are they called Shank Buttons? I'm not sure, but like you can basically cover these in whatever fabric you like. So I've got a few big ones here. They are size 23, and I think the back is going to just be like a button enclosure because I don't know, that's just what I've decided. And I think that's about it. If you didn't know already, my lapel pins are now available to purchase on my website. And if you actually flick through the photos, some of the pins are sitting in this miniature sewing room, and some people were asking me how I got that effect, and it's actually because in my downtime I've been obsessed with making little dollhouse things, and I found one online that was a sewing room version, and I thought that was so appropriate for me that I bought it and I made it, and I loved it so much that I picked up a second kit actually, which is to make a greenhouse version, and I hope to do this one over the Christmas break. But I was actually able to save 20% on top of the sale price for these, which is an amazing deal. I made these savings through Karma, which you can also get by downloading the Chrome extension through Karma's homepage or the Google Chrome store. You can visit any of your favorite stores and click the button or slider when you see an item you'd like to save. This can be done on your computer, but you can also get the Karma mobile app. Choose to get notified and save to a list and get email or mobile push notifications when an item you've saved goes on sale, has a relevant coupon code, or comes back in stock. Another thing I love to do is plan my shopping by organizing items into multiple wish lists. For example, I've been eyeing this cute eggplant plate, which I put in my home decor list. Karma scans the web for coupons and applies them at checkout automatically. This is a special feature only available if you use Karma on your computer, so the Chrome extension is a must. When you shop from select retail partners, Karma gives cash back to you and a good cause of your choice through Karma Gives. Get Karma's free Chrome extension through the link here, and I'll also link it in the description box. So I'm going to be using the same block pattern that I always use, and it's like so crusty because I use it for every single video, but honestly having this kind of block pattern is so helpful, and you can pretty much adjust it to any pattern or any kind of like garment you want, or like at least most things. And today I am going to be using both the darts in the front bodice and also the single dart in the back bodice, so it's a little bit more fitted in the bandeau lining. So I'm just going to start by folding the bandeau to the length I want. So I usually fold it at the base of the armpit, and then the back, when the dart's put in, the length on the side fits the side length of the back pattern. Fold this about here, and that looks about right to me. And then you just want to put in the darts into your actual fabric that you cut out. The lining for my bandeau is all done, and I think it fits all right. And now I want to do the straps first before I move on to the ruching part of the top. So as mentioned before, I've got my 4 centimeter elastic, and I'm going to make a casing for it, just a super easy tube to go over the elastic. And I'm gonna give myself plenty of seam allowance for that. Firstly, just measure how long you need your strap to be, and make sure you're not stretching it, because we don't want the strap to be like to pull your top up, if that makes sense. The length of my elastic has turned out to be 38 centimeters, and because we want to do the gathered look, I want my casing to be about 2.5 times the length of my elastic. Hang on. 95 centimeters. And then the width of it, since my elastic is a 4 centimeter wide one, I'm going to make it 12 centimeters in width so that I can sew one side and flip it out to make a tube. I actually did see this kind of top in the display windows of 2 stores while I was walking through the shops. The first was AJE, or is it Age? I don't know, but I love AJE. I always love looking at their displays. Price point, I cannot have never walked into a AJE store or Age, and I saw pretty much an identical top at Chic. I want to say Chic, but I think it's meant to be Chic. I don't know. And they were both in this like tangerine orange, which might be a trending color for this summer, but I'm not really sure. But I thought I would make mine in a lilac. Finished the straps. You want to measure how long your bandeau is, pretty much from end to end. I'm just going to take my tape measure and measure how long this bandeau might be. And it's fine to just take like a very rough measurement, 84 centimeters when I measure across the center. Also calculate the biggest width of the bandeau. So for me that is the front middle part, and that is 23 centimeters. We want to cut out another piece of rectangular fabric that is around double the length of your total bandeau. So for me that would be 168 centimeters. And then for the height of it, just add maybe like 5 centimeters of seam allowance, just so we have plenty of room to ruche and make that bubble hem top effect. I've got my long strip of fabric, and I am going to put a basting stitch along either length of this rectangle, so the long sides, and then gather it to match the length of my bandeau, which is back there. What I've done is to actually pin the top side of the bandeau, right sides together with the gathered outer bodice. But before we sew that together, we actually have to remember to put in our straps. So I know that I want mine to sit around here. So just pop it in between the 2 layers of fabric. Pin that right there. We also have to connect it to the other side. So I've got both straps wedged into my top, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch across the top neckline. The top has been, just the top part of it is attached and the bottom is still open. But before we go any further, I just want to go on the lining and do an understitch, so this outer part is not flipping out when you wear it. Now we need to attach the bottom of it. To do that, I am going to flip it inside out once again. So just tuck those sleeves. We're essentially making a bubble hem. So what you want to do is start from one edge, since we've already gathered it, and pin the 2 raw edges together. Once again, we're just going to sew along this straight line as well. We've sewn the bottom edge of it, and the sides are still open. It's just like a long tube, so I'm gonna flip it inside out so it's the correct way out. And there we go. Our top is nearly done, I would say. But it's looking like this, and then it's got like the bubble hem, which is super cute. Let's work on the back enclosure next. I think it is looking quite cute. Then I want to baste this raw edge of the back of the top, just so that the lining and the outer part are stuck together, and repeat on the other side as well. Just sew a straight basting stitch on this. I've cut 2 strips of fabric, one for each end of the top, and the length should be just, you know, ample to cover the side of this. And I'm also going to cut interfacing that's exactly the same as these sizes and fuse it onto the fabric. Now fold it up once, and then Down again. Once more. I actually have to trim some of this seam allowance back because it's too much. Because we folded and ironed like this, where this part wraps over the entire edge, this section, this width is a tiny bit wider than this section. So with this smaller part, we're going to line it up to the outer side of our top like this. And we want to sew using the line that we made with the iron and do a straight stitch along here on the outer part of the top. Sorry, I had to switch to the other side because I went ahead and finished the other one. Because we have sewn this one on now, we just need to flip this where we've already ironed it. Keep this side folded. And we'll sew on this side. Matching this edge of the top here. So just gonna mark where I want to sew here and also mark where I want to sew here. Now that's been sewn, I'm just gonna chop off this extra seam allowance, cut off the corners. We can flip everything, stab it so the corners are nice and rectangular. Give it another press. And now I'm gonna stitch very closely in this stitch, and then it should catch the fabric on the back because it's like 1 or 2 millimeters larger than this length here. This is what it looks like on the inside, and this is what it looks like on the outside. Okay, so the chic version one is actually all elastic, so you can just pop it on and off because it's like stretchy. And the age one has buttons on it at first glance, but apparently it's like a zip up, so I'm thinking it's like a hidden zip and it's got like faux buttons on the outside. I'm gonna do real buttons because I do not have the patience to be putting a zipper into this top, and I didn't make my pattern with an elastic, so I think this is the only option that makes sense for me at the moment. I showed you guys this button before, but these come in little kits and you can just cut out a piece of fabric. So I'm just going to use the same purple one and then just make your fabric covered buttons. I want them to sit like this. I've definitely used these before, but can't entirely remember how they work, but I think you're just meant to cut just a decent amount around the button. You're meant to put it in here. Am I? Yeah, okay, I think it goes like that. Fabric part, the plastic part in with this, I think. And then to pop out the button. My 4 fabric covered buttons are all done. I just love that it matches the exact fabric. These are literally my favorite type of buttons, and let's attach them to the top. I swapped out my sewing foot to the buttonhole making one, and I put in 4 vertical buttonholes. And then I just cut through them with my seam ripper. And finally, I put in my buttons by just hand sewing the ones that I just made into the corresponding spot as the buttonholes.